You have exactly 3 seconds to like and subscribe to the channel. Otherwise, I'll appear in your dreams tonight. To ask for a donation for that cup of coffee, link below.
The F-22 Predator fighter jet made its maiden flight in 1997, ushering in a new era in the development of jet fighter aircraft and inspiring a series of similar fighter aircraft. 20 years later, this fighter jet is still hailed by military experts as the king of the skies, and the U.S. Air Force intends to continue using them until the 2060s. On your screen now is the F-22, a stealth tactical fighter jet. Single, twin-engine, 5th generation, developed for the U.S. Air Force to replace the F-15 Eagle and F-16 Fighting Falcon. This product, manufactured by Lockheed Martin and Boeing, aims for absolute air superiority, but also possesses ground attack capabilities, electronic warfare capabilities, and integrated artificial intelligence. Its beyond visual range air combat capabilities have made it an unrivaled super fighter jet. The Avatar is 9 m long, 1 mean high, has a wingspan of 6, and possesses an extremely small radar cross-section of 1,002 equivalent to the area of a marble. It can combine stealth capabilities and supersonic flight speed with a cruising speed of up to Mach 1. Apart from the European F-2000, no other aircraft, including the F-35 and Sufa, has been able to do this. So, what kind of formidable firepower does the F-22 War God possess that allows the U.S. to maintain air superiority over its rivals? It is equipped with the powerful AMAPG-7071 phased array radar system capable of detecting targets as small as 1-2 m at a distance of 2 ft. The pilot simply presses the fire button to destroy the target before the enemy even realizes its presence in the area. This fighter jet also has 3 weapons bays located inside the fuselage and external pylons. For air, the F-22 Raptor will need to carry 6 AIM-20 CAIM missiles and 2 AIM-9 Sidewinder missiles. When attacking ground targets, the F-22 carries 3 GBU-32JM smart bombs, 2 RPG GBU-30JM bombs of 454 kg each, along with a few air-to-air missiles. For patrol duty, this aircraft only carries 4 auxiliary fuel tanks and 8 AIM-9 short-range missiles. Storing all of these munitions in the 3 weapon bays would mean the aircraft wouldn't have to sacrifice any stealth capabilities. Absolutely amazing. Based on the design specifications, the F-22 is capable of achieving a range of 200 km, ceiling, and a lifespan of approximately 8,000 flight hours before requiring a mid-life overhaul. However, the lifespan of this fighter jet can reach 15,000 flight hours without needing upgrades or repairs, something no previous fighter jet has achieved, compared to the typical Russian Sukhoi aircraft, which usually have a flight lifespan of only about 2004. The F-22 is undoubtedly a much more resilient fighter. Thus, the integration of a powerful active electronically scanned array radar, a new electronic warfare system, combined with radar evasion capabilities, has allowed it to operate in heavily protected airspace, where 4th-generation fighter jets like the F-15 would be highly vulnerable. The legendary Raptor was put into service at a time when the U.S. military was on the front lines fighting an endless war against terrorists in Afghanistan and Iraq. But in this war against terrorism, the F-22's air superiority and stealth capabilities were useless when facing an enemy in tattered sandals and civilian clothes. not to mention advanced fighter jets, surface-to-air missile systems. From these perspectives, the F-22 Raptor is perhaps one of the unluckiest fighter jets of all time, because, when it was created, there were no enemies to fight. Of the 137 aircraft delivered to the Air Force, only 130 have ever been operational. In 2011, the last of 22 off the production line. This marks the end of 15 years of production of what is known as the most fearsome fighter jet in history and also the most expensive fighter in the world. Shortly afterward, Lockheed Martin cut off this production line to make way for the F-35 fighter jet. Over the past, Israel, Japan, and Australia have repeatedly asked the Pentagon when they can purchase F-22 Raptor fighter jets, but each time they have only received disappointment. Meanwhile, Japan is most important ally of the United States in the Asia-Pacific region. They want the US to sell them the fifth-generation superfighter jet because their giant neighbor, China, is simultaneously developing two stealth fighter models, the J-20 and the FC-31. This has put the leaders of the land of the rising sun on edge, as the two countries are currently engaged in a territorial dispute over the Senkaku Islands, also known as the Diaoyu Islands. Israel, on the other hand, is America's #1 ally in the volatile Middle East. Israel has always been favored by the US, receiving the most modern and earliest weapons from F-15 and F-16 aircraft. More recently, the F-35. They were even provided with source technology by Washington to directly upgrade and improve the F-35I stealth fighter jet to better suit Israel's requirements for the region. So why doesn't the US export the F-22 to some of its close allies to offset development costs? In fact, not only Japan, but any country in the world cannot buy the Jewel 22, because the export of this aircraft has been prohibited by the OB Amendment. Many of you might be surprised and wonder what this law is about that could completely block the export of birds of prey. The Obey Amendment was drafted by U.S. Democratic Congressman David, who was concerned that some sensitive and secret technologies used to develop the F-22, including its unique stealth capabilities, could be detected and copied by U.S. adversaries if Washington exported the fighter jet. In 1998, Obey added an amendment to the Defense Budget Voting Act of 1990. His amendment was a single sentence: no funds under this act may be used to approve or authorize the sale of the advanced fifth-generation F-22 stealth fighter jet to any government. That was fatal. You know, just one liner. Text from Obey sealed the future of this fighter jet, turning it into an aircraft used exclusively by the US military. It is packaged with classified technology and manufactured using top-secret, advanced production methods. It has gotten to the point where even pilots are prohibited from using the full capabilities of their aircraft in international exercises, even those with close allies. In addition to the limitations imposed by the Obey Act, the number of aircraft produced under the F-22 program was also scaled down due to changing circumstances. It was originally developed to counter the advanced fighter aircraft in the Soviet Union's arsenal. After the collapse of the Soviet Union in the early 1990s, there was no longer any real major threat to the United States, so they didn't need a large number of F-22s. Nevertheless, the U.S. Department of Defense still intends to sell F-22s abroad, according to Warzone, the organization managing the flexible export project for the F-22 by the U.S. Air Force. Under the Freedom of Information Act, the Pentagon had once considered exporting its most advanced fighter jet at the time. Several Air Force offices conducted studies with varying variables on what the export program would look like. Some Australian defense commentators have even suggested that the country should purchase the F-22. This proposal has been strongly supported by the Australian Labor Party. Support is good, but the cost is also a factor to consider, because they are not cheap. According to several estimates, the price is at least $137 million and at most $678 million per act, depending on the specific model and how you value it. For example, proponents of twin-engine fighter jets always mention the cost of producing the product plus the cost of assembly. Alternative, using the parts-by-parts method, would include both development and production costs, which would then be divided among the number of aircraft. Third way to calculate the price of an F-22 is to include its life cycle costs. According to Gizmodo, the lifetime cost of an aircraft includes fuel, spare, and maintenance fees for a lifespan of approximately 60 years. According to estimates from the General Statistics Office, the cost to repair and operate an F-22 until it becomes inoperable would reach $59 billion. If you add in the cost, the total amount the US government has to spend on designing, manufacturing, and operating a Raptor reaches $6 to $78 million. This is a huge sum of money. So, any country wanting to buy it will have to think very carefully. And however you interpret these figures, fighter jets have always been among the most expensive weapons of war ever. However, the key point here is that the US Congress will never fund an export version of the F-22 fighter jet. Attention was immediately drawn to another project, the F-35. So let's try to compare these two fighter jets to see if the F-35 Lightning can compete with the F-22 Predator. If we compare purely technical specifications, the F-22 is far superior to the F. It's bigger, flies higher, has a longer range, and carries more weapons. In terms of fighter aircraft alone, the F-22 is virtually unrivaled. It can engage in close quarters combat with spectacular cornering maneuvers and accelerate and decelerate extremely quickly. It can also fly reconnaissance missions due to its high stealth capabilities and can be used in lightning bombing campaigns by dropping a 500 kg cruise bomb more than 30 km away from the target from an altitude of around 10 km. It's true that the F-35 cannot match the F-22 as an air superiority fighter, because it was never designed for such a mission. The original plan of the US Air Force was for the F-22 to be a top-tier air combat fighter, while F was essentially developed as an air-to-ground attack aircraft with sufficient self-defense capabilities. The Pentagon hopes that the F-35, with its stealth capabilities and sensors, will be able to fill the gap left by F-22 flights in a large-scale combat engagement. But all things considered, even though the F-22 Predator is the most expensive fighter jet in the world, it has never participated in any major US military operations and has only left US territory a few times to conduct airstrikes against ISIS militants in Iraq and combat in Syria. The use of state-of-the-art fighter jets to bomb a terrorist organization with limited air defense capabilities has drawn much criticism for the US government, with critics arguing that the Pentagon is using a butcher's knife to kill a chicken. As F-16E fighter jet, specialized bombers like the B-1 are more than sufficient to attack ISIS militants. Military experts have also pointed out that although the F-22 Raptor can perform bombing missions, its greatest advantage is its air combat capability. The use of this type of fighter jet to bomb IS has no other purpose than to test the combat capabilities of the pilots, and, at the same time, to deter countries hostile to the US in the Middle East such as Iran, Syria, or extremist terrorist organizations opposing the US in Afghanistan and Pakistan. Will this exclusive Iron Bird make America proud? Or will it be another wasteful but useless masterpiece? Let's wait and see. That concludes today's video. If the F-22 Raptor were to be released from its cage, which country do you think would be the first to purchase the world's most expensive fighter jet from the United States? Share your prediction in the comments below to see how many people think the same as you. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any exciting journeys from KTQS. And now, on behalf of the team, Viet Quang would like to say hello and wish you all a new day full of energy.